Hello everyone and welcome to English 1510 for the summer 22. This is going to be your week 1 overview, just a brief overview video and audio kind of taking you through some of the base points here. First week here, you're just kind of getting to know the course and starting with week 1 reading, looking through some of the main things that are on the page in terms of layout and assignment schedule. So I want to make a note of a couple of different things. First and foremost, your primary course schedule and tentative plan of work will be here each week on under the announcements for everybody to follow fairly easily. The schedule is tentative because it's subject to change. If there were any change, I'd notify students in advance. Once writing assignments are underway, submissions of some pre-writing and outlining of papers will overlap with final submissions of other writings. It's an 8-week course, so that's the nature of the beast here. We kind of move pretty quickly through a lot of this. And you will note in the schedule coming up here that these things are posted, and it'll show the different weeks where things overlap. Now, note 3, an overview will be posted on Monday nights, 8 p.m. Usually right around that time. Usually I have them already preloaded prior to that. Sometimes I make slight changes, and if it's going to be a little bit after that, I'll let you guys know. But usually they're open prior to, usually they open up Sunday night, Monday morning. But I always put it up as 8 p.m. on the Monday so that we know that there's a little bit of a window there just in case I need to make changes in accordance with some of the work that students are doing. But in any event, those will be posted on the odd weeks, starting with week 1. So weeks 1, 3, 5, and 7, there will be these posted, just short videos that give you an overview, and you follow along with the schedule. For even weeks, however, I am going to put optional live Zoom sessions on the schedule here. For your session in the slight adjustment on this, if you are in the A110 class, you'll see this posted up as the 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. For the students, if you're listening to the recording in the 109 class, it will show on here the different time. It'll show 12:30 to 1:30 on that same Tuesday. It just gives me a buffer between the two classes, and I will show that in a moment here. But that will be a Zoom session that takes place for the A110 for this section here, Auburn Hills 8-110. You'll be looking at 11 a.m. on Tuesdays, and then for the 109, the sessions will be 12:30 to 1:30 every other Tuesday starting next Tuesday. That means that I will actually sit down at that time and do a live broadcast Zoom session. I will send those out in emails to students prior to the session, usually the weekend before on the Sunday. I send those out, and then on the Tuesday I have those open. Now, they are optional. If you can make it and you have questions, it serves very well as a Q&A forum and an overview. I'll do an overview of the class session for the week, and then if anyone has questions, they can ask them at that time. But no one is required to attend. I will have those sessions recorded, and then I will post them. For even weeks, those optional Zoom sessions will be recorded and posted as weekly overview in lieu of what I have posted for you today in this session. Recording Zoom sessions are typically posted by 4 p.m. that same Tuesday. They just need time to be processed and uploaded. Sometimes that can take 15 minutes. Sometimes it can take an hour and a half. So I always give a little bit of a window there as well. So you'll see down here in this course schedule and tentative plan of work, it goes up through the 8th week. The last ones for 7th and 8th, those will be posted sometime around week 6 when I see how the work is going for the term and we're all up to date. But for week 1, starting off, the readings are listed here. I don't know what editions everyone ended up with. I think most students ended up with 4th edition from what I saw in postings and emails. That means that these pages that are listed here, most of you are following this, but anybody who did get the 2nd or 3rd editions, I have posted chapters and pages for those as well. I don't know that I had anybody with 2nd edition. I didn't hear from anyone who did. So if that does change, let me know, because I think I'm going to continue on with just the 3rd and 4th edition postings. If somebody does need additional, let me know as I get up through these other weeks. I still have them all posted, but at the 5th week I have 3rd and 4th, and on the 6th week same. And if I don't hear from anybody that they have the 2nd edition, I'll stick to that. For this week, you're looking at the basic writing assignments, the FERPA and academic honesty forms. Those are due by this Friday into their Dropboxes by 11:30 p.m. You can download those and hand sign them, or you can download them and put an electronic signature on there, or you can type in with I prefer you actually give me a handwritten signature if you can download and then just take a picture and upload it. Otherwise, if you have to just type in through a Word software program there and type your signature in, that's fine as well, just as long as I get that submitted to me so that I have clearance on both that academic honesty and FERPA. FERPA is the one for federal regulations on privacy and things, in order for me to be able to give you guys the kind of feedback that we need to week, and also be able to interact with you online about some of the specifics with grades and things like that, so that I know that we understand that there's going to be some specifics shared in an online environment with you and I personally back and forth, right? In terms of your grade and some of the assignment things, some clearance and regulation on that. So the reading for this week is listed there. This is launching the overview. I'm launching this with the class. The 8 p.m. I put on there is that the overview for week 1. And then week 2, your reading selections on here all have to do with memoir, and then some of the other things are the basics of writing and overviews. The week 2 will be a summary and outline that you're submitting by Sunday at 11:30, and then we'll work our way into drafting. And then week 3, you'll see your readings are listed here, but then we have our memoir that's due as the draft to a Dropbox. You also need to post into the discussion board for that week, and also then post into the discussion board for a review of a classmate's. And those dates and times are all listed there. For week 1 on this, the discussion board is class introduction. So post an introduction to and respond to a classmate's by next Monday at 11:30. You will have to go in and start your own thread to begin in those, so that's something to note on there. I'm going to walk you guys through a quick brief overview of that. Now, down below this, I have the tutoring schedule listed for the term. I will be based off of some of the diagnostic writings that you guys do this week. I will be recommending tutoring for certain students. I want to say from the outset, I do give extra credit for anyone who attends tutoring sessions, even if I do make them recommended because of certain sentence level issues that are present in the writing that I see. If I see issues that need to be addressed that are not things that I typically do address in a 1510 level, in other words, if you have a number of grammatical issues, sentence fragments, comma splices, run-ons, things like that, I may make recommendations for you based on those errors that I see in diagnostic, so that throughout the next couple of weeks while we're going through drafting stages, you pursue editing and proofreading with a tutor to make sure that you're getting a little bit more of the overview that you need, edit and revision each week. The textbook information is listed here that I sent out prior to the term and has been posted for a while, and then some supplemental instructional links that I'll refer to throughout the term. Some of these things you guys will find helpful while you're working through some of your basics on these. The first one's on coordination and subordination overview. That will be the first ones that I would say for most students, and sentence variety types for any of you who have the basic sentence level errors that I do comment on. Starting from 1 through 5 on here would be the primary ones you'd end up using as resources to sort of work your way through a lot of those sentence level problems and in making sort of corrections in those areas. Those are the ones students typically find the most useful in that regard. So just note that moving forward. Now, after we look at this in terms of your basics for the class, that course schedule and tentative plan of work, another place to note for any assignment things that are due each week is over here on the calendar, and under upcoming events you can see +10. If your arrow was pointed to the right, you won't see them, but if you click on that and open it up, everything that's due for the timeline you're currently working in should show up here, and they will load as the weeks come. They're accessible in 2 different places. They're accessible here underneath upcoming events, and they are also accessible under assignments. So right now you have your FERPA form. You can click here. You can download the form. I'm not going to double click on that. If you double click on that, it'll open up, sign the form, save it to your file, upload it into here, and then submit. And once you submit, it should say confirmation below on anything that is completed in the submit. So for this week, you have the FERPA form, the academic honesty, excuse me, it's about plagiarism. Both of those due by Friday at 11:30, and then the diagnostic short essay, why are you going to college? And remember, I'm not looking for you to ask me about parameters on these as a writing assignment. This is a diagnostic piece, so this is aimed at seeing what you're capable of now before the term starts, not after we get rolling. So do your best on those, and I will make recommendations based off what I see in that preemptive writing there. So then you will have next week, you'll see opening up the summary outline drafts. Those things are going to all be accessible there. The other thing that was listed was the first discussion board. Discussion board forum, that if we're on the home screen, it also does show up in terms of the availability. It shows that availability ends at this time, but you can click on discussions, and here under your class introductions, you'll see the instructions forum and then the actual listing down here below for the forum. You can click right here on class introductions. There's my example, and the objective for this week is to post your own thread. You start your own thread and put your information in, and then after you post yours, go through and review and respond to at least one classmate. And I will be participating in this as well. So you would click on the introductory forum. You'd come down here and you'd start a new thread. You'd put your subject heading there, and you'd respond to the requirements there. What are you going to school for? Where are you from? What are you going to school for, etc. Okay, so those are the basics with those in terms of assignments and discussion boards for the term. And as I said, they're all listed there in the home screen. And then grades, you'll see the things that are going to show up for grades throughout the term, and it's the same breakdown that's in your syllabus for the term. And you'll see those things populate as the weeks progress. Over here under, go back to course home, but at the top of the page under content, if you click here, you'll see that the basic table of contents will list your materials and items for the term. Some of these are duplicate of what you've already seen in other places, and I do try and have things in more than one spot just in case students have a difficult time working their way around on certain things. But it's fairly self-explanatory. Obviously, you click on the syllabus here, and I have the syllabus itself listed. This office that's listed there, that's actually changing, but I can still be available at that one throughout the term if necessary. Most of these things are going to be by appointment or Zoom sessions, particularly in those optional ones that I hold with you guys. The listing for the textbook and any objectives for the term. Make sure that you read and review through your syllabus. Here's the breakdown of the assignments and the percentage of grade overall. Each one of these categories includes a number of different items that are due for each one. This includes the discussion forums and the attendance and participation, along with those initial forms. The diagnostic itself is an easy piece to get. It's actually not 2 pages. It's about a page and a half, I think, for most of you. And then the memoir, the rhetorical analysis and argument, those are all going to have different things of summary outlines and rough drafts and things like that. The breakdown of grades, and make sure you read through these things, guys. The end grade mark, if I do not have attendance or gradable work after the first week, I have to mark you as a non-attending student, which results in you being removed from the class. So make sure that you understand that before week 1 is out and you do anything other than this class. You must be engaged from week 1. Okay. So your basic documents and things for the course, read through those. There is no leeway on things on submission of assignments. Late work is not accepted. That's listed in there as well. There are some research, MLA citation, argumentation videos. These are assigned in the weeks ahead, so you don't have to worry about covering these yet. They will come up in the assigned schedule of course schedule. There's also some additional links that might be of use for many of you throughout the term, particularly when we get to the research portions of argumentation. And then the last but not least on here, if you actually look at course schedule, you can click on full schedule and see most of the things that are coming up for the rest of the term. Just make sure that you note that the discussion board should be listed in here as well. They'll be listed under availability ends though, so just make sure that you note you can click on them through here and engage as well. Just make sure that you note all the things that you should be watching are under your upcoming events and listed in this course schedule and tentative plan of work. Okay, so that's the basic overview for the introduction of week 1. Your first components, as I said, your FERPA form and academic honesty. due by Friday, and then the diagnostic by Sunday, and then class introductions, engage in that by Monday. All right, I look forward to seeing the work, and I will see everyone in the first optional Zoom session next Tuesday, or I will post it Tuesday afternoon for you to review. Welcome to 1510.